Ready, halt. Nice.
Welcome, students, staff, community, and especially our military veterans who are able to join us today for our Veterans Day presentation. I want to take a moment to thank all of those involved with the planning and implementation of this very special day, most notably Miss Angie Birkenkamp, Aaron LeBlanc, Daniel Pellegrino, and the Veterans Day Committee who coordinated this event from idea to planning to final product. Thank you. President Woodrow Wilson once said, "To us in America, the reflections of Armistice Day, now known as Veterans Day, will be filled with solemn pride in the heroism of those who died in the country's service and with the gratitude for the victory, both because of the thing from which it has freed us and because of the opportunity it has given America to show her sympathy with peace and justice in the councils of the nation." On June 1st, 1954, 83rd U.S. Congress amended the Armistice Act of 1938. President Dwight D. Eisenhower issued the first Veterans Day proclamation in October 1954, and November 11th became a day to honor American veterans of all wars. It is with great humility and pride that I address you today in honor of our veterans. I look forward to hearing the words of our guest speaker, Petty Officer Roman Carroll. I feel honored to be within this presentation and to soon hear the roll call of honor in tribute to all those who have died in battle or completed their service and have since passed on. I ask you to join me in this sense of humility and honor by providing highest levels of your respect to this very meaningful presentation. John F. Kennedy said, "Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, to assure the survival and success of liberty." Ronald Reagan once said, "Freedom is never more than one generation away from extinction. We didn't pass it on to our children through the bloodstream. It must be fought for, protected, and handed on to them to do the same." One needs only to converse with colleagues a short while to learn of direct connections to family, friends, and associates of military personnel. To all of them, we keep them in our thoughts and say thank you. For the Dakota Ridge High School staff members who served in the military, and I hope I haven't left anyone off this list, I'd like to recognize you. Dr. John Williams, U.S. Navy. Mr. Jason Casanova, Staff Sergeant in the Army. Mr. Jeffrey Bowman, Sergeant in the Marines. Deputy Greg Everhart, Staff Sergeant, Air Force. Deputy Dave Bruning, 2nd degree Petty Officer in the Coast Guard, and Miss Shannon Curry, Sergeant in the Army. We say thank you. Please join me in recognizing and thanking all of our veterans. Thank you.
Hello, Dakota Ridge community, and thank you for joining us for our Veterans Day video this year. Now, it might look different because of the unfortunate circumstances of COVID, but it's still important that we recognize the service members throughout history and even in the current times. Now we should probably start off this Veterans Day by exactly figuring out what it is. Veterans Day originally started to celebrate the end of World War I on November 11th. It has continued to be that day until 1954, when we changed from Armistice Day to Veterans Day, still with the same celebrations in mind. Barack Obama once said, "It's about how we treat our veterans every single day of the year. It's about making sure that they have the care they need and the benefits that they've earned when they come home. It's about serving all of you as well as you serve the United States of America." I absolutely love this quote because it shows that there's more to Veterans Day than just the day itself. Why? Because the veterans didn't just serve us for a singular day. They devoted their lives to us. Without those veterans, we would not be able to live in peace and be able to learn and grow as individuals, as communities, as a nation. They protect us and allow us to be able to become the better people that we always want to become. Now you might be wondering, who or what is a veteran? Well, aside from veterans being people who have served us in our military and armed forces, our veterans are some of our fathers, our mothers, siblings, teachers, just members of our community. That's something beautiful. It's not a singular demographic that becomes a veteran. There are people from all walks of life that have decided to be part of a cause greater than themselves, to support and defend the Constitution of the United States of America, to serve their brothers and sisters, to make sure that no harm would ever come upon this nation, to make sure that America will live on, and that we are able to become the best nation that we ever thought possible. Now we might be wondering, what is the best part about Veterans Day? I believe that the best part about Veterans Day is being able to give back to people who are so great, to be able to tell them thank you, to be able to show them a little bit of that love and compassion that they have showed us. JFK said, "As we express our gratitude, we must never forget that the highest appreciation is not to utter words, but to live by them." JFK himself was actually a veteran, and I love listening to the stories about him because he exemplified that role that we see among all veterans, that selfless spirit, their willingness to serve everybody, no matter what the cost. And this Veterans Day, our goal should be to serve them like they have served us. Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day. My name is Angie Beasley, and I am a very proud wife of a retired Master Sergeant in the United States Army. I'd like to start by thanking each and every veteran and their family. Veterans Day is important to me because it's a day we get to celebrate all the men and women who have taken an oath to fight and defend our country. How many people do you know that would do that? They deserve so much more than just one day. My husband is the love of my life and my true hero. For 20 years, he put his life on the line for our country. Most of his military career, I didn't know where he was or what he was doing because he was in a special ops unit. But I always knew he was working hard and fighting for our country, our family, and our friends. I would like to thank our veterans for their sacrifices in the U.S. and abroad. As an Army wife, I've seen and experienced some of their sacrifices. I cannot thank you all enough. Myself, our daughters, and their families, thank you for your service. Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day. My name is Lisa LeBlanc, and my dad spent 8 years active duty in the United States Air Force. While in the Air Force, he spent his time at 4 different Strategic Air Command stations. Life in the military means moving around whenever the military tells you to. Thus, he spent his time stationed in El Paso, Texas, Minot, North Dakota, Labrador, Canada, and finally Austin, Texas. He had many jobs while in the Air Force, but 2 of his favorites were managing an aircraft support warehouse and driving a pickup truck to catch the wings of the U-2s when they landed. Being in the military means you will at times be away from your family. While Dad was in Canada, Mom and my brothers stayed at her parents' house in Wisconsin. Cell phones and personal computers did not exist back then, so their best form of communication was via snail mail. Military life is never easy for the person serving or the person's family. I honor all military personnel and their families for having such tremendous courage. Happy Veterans Day.
My brother Scotty served in the United States Marine Corps, and this Veterans Day, I would like to thank him for his service. Scotty served tours in Iraq and Afghanistan, and I am so thankful that he made it home to us safe. In fact, he just became a dad to a beautiful baby girl. I love you, Scotty.
So my name is Petty Officer Angela Santo. I'm a United States Navy corpsman. Been in corpsman rating for almost 15 years now. So I was a 9/11 joint. So the towers came down. I was in my second year of college at MCLA and just felt that I needed something else to do. So I came into the Navy office, got recruited, and I've been doing this for the past 15 years. Love it very much. Probably one of the best things I've ever did. That's about me in a nutshell. I'm from Boston, Massachusetts originally. Been stationed all over the place. My first, obviously, I went to boot camp at RTC Great Lakes, or Recruit Training Center Great Lakes. From there, I went to UT training in Shepherd Air Force Base in Texas. So a lot of people don't know, but all the services kind of chain together nowadays, depending on where you're at. There's a core, so all the medical training now that we do, all the Army medics go there, the Navy medics go there, and the Air Force guys as well. So everybody kind of trains together. So when they did base consolidation, which is how they got more funding, they put everybody in one building. So I went there to Texas, then I went to a Naval Mobile Construction Battalion 11 in Gulfport, Mississippi. Did a year-long workup, then I deployed for JTF East, which is Joint Task Force East at the time. Went to Romania, Bulgaria, Ukraine, Timisoara, Italy, Germany, France, and Spain. Did a lot of humanitarian aid missions over there, building clinics, building schools, water wells, different stuff like that for the communities out there. Got back from there. Navy paid for me to go to EMT school, so I did that for a little while, and then I went back to Naval Station Great Lakes again, this time for corpsman training. Spent about 6 months there, volunteered for the special programs for corpsmen. Didn't end up having fiscal funding. From there, I went to the Field Medical Training Battalion. Then I went to the School of Infantry. After I went to the School of Infantry, I was there for about 6 months, and then I was deployed with the SDP in a unit in Afghanistan for Regimental Combat Team 8 with the Marines for about 10 months. Came back, went from there back to NMCB 11 again for another tour, did another deployment after that, and then I went to California. I was a field medical instructor out there, teaching all the advanced medical tactics skills for about 3 years, and then I'm up here in Rocky Mountain, Denver, recruiting for the Navy now.
Sounds good, thank you. If you wouldn't mind, please tell us what Veterans Day means to you.
Veterans Day. So Veterans Day is always a very important. My history, why it was always super important to me. My grandfather and his 4 brothers came to this country as immigrants with his parents. Somewhere around like 1925, 1928. Obviously, they were just about 18 years old when World War II kicked off. And all 4 of them served, everyone. So it was always kind of the thing, like they didn't talk about it a ton, but we all knew that they were in the war, and every day, every year we go out to the Veterans Day parade that they would have in downtown Boston, and you get to watch all the guys. So it was always something that I was curious about. I like history a lot. I just remember them always telling me we live in the greatest country in the world, and the fact that they went off and defended it, probably one of the big reasons I joined after 9/11 was I felt we had owed something to the nation, to the country, so that's what it means to me.
Sounds good, thank you. So how has being a member of the service affected you as a father, husband, and member of the community?
As a father and a husband, it's, the military is always going to teach you some stuff that you may not get, right out. We have these 3 things that we call our core values, basically honor, courage, and commitment. And basically it teaches you how to follow through in those things. Always to have honor, like being, easy way to put it is to always kind of do the right thing, right? No matter where you're at, you're honorable. If somebody says, hey, I need you to be here at 10:00 in the morning because we got 5 guys waiting on you, that I'm there, right? I'm honorable. I do those type of things. Committed, right? Being committed to the mission, being committed to the people that you're around, that's huge, right? And then courage, right? Always having that courage is being able to do the things that other people don't want to do. When I got back from Afghanistan, I had a staff sergeant, one of my Marine buddies, we were out there together, and it's always difficult when you come back because you everybody here, life goes on, you got American Idol, you got a TV show, you got whatever else going on, and, we're over there kind of doing our thing, and you get back and you're kind of like, well, does anybody know what we really do? And one of his wise words were, we do this so that the rest of the country doesn't have to know what it is.
Using only 5 words, which words would you use to describe those you serve with?
the best the country has to offer.
As the country has to offer. What can everyone do this Veterans Day to show our appreciation for those who served?
I don't know if anything as much as showing it, but just remember people. You know, veterans are people who chose to go, you know, when everybody else decided to stay home. I always remember this quote. They used to write it on the back of the operators' coffins when they come. It said, "Who will go for us, and who shall I send?" And then I looked at them and they said, "Send me." So I mean, I think that's the thing. They just remember it, you know, and hold homage to the people who went.
Mm-hmm. And finally, what would you want to say to all the veterans in your life this Veterans Day?
Happy Veterans Day.
Happy Veterans Day. Thank you.
Appreciate it. It was good talking to you.
Thank you.
Happy Veterans Day! My name is Chloe Meehan, and I will be reading the poem Freedom Isn't Free by Kelly Strong. I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young Marine saluted it, and then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud. With haircut square and eyes alert, he'd stand out in any crowd. I thought, how many men like him had fallen through the years? How many died on foreign soil? How many mothers' tears? How many pilots' planes shot down? How many died at sea? How many foxholes were soldiers' graves? No, freedom is not free. I heard the sounds of taps one night when everything was still. I listened to the bugler play and then felt a sudden chill. I wondered just how many times that taps had meant amen, when a flag had draped a coffin of a brother or a friend. I thought of all the children, of the mothers and the wives, of fathers, sons, and husbands with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves in Arlington. No, freedom is not free. Thank you.